On the Tuesday following Labor Day in the United States, the Trump administration made good on its promise to end DACA, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program.
Known as DACA, that was effectuated under the Obama administration, is being rescinded.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions made the announcement.
If we were to keep the Obama administration's executive amnesty policy, the likeliest outcome is that it would too be enjoined, just as was DACA. The Department of Justice has advised the President and the Department of Homeland Security that the Department of Homeland Security should begin an orderly, lawful wind down, including the cancellation of the memo that authorized this program. Acting Secretary Duke has chosen appropriately to initiate a wind-down process. This will enable the Department of Homeland Security to conduct an orderly change and fulfill the desire of this administration to create a time period for Congress to act, should it so choose. We firmly believe this is the responsible path.
The announcement drew criticism from Democrats, including Hawaii's congressional delegation.
Talking about why the DACA program that helps 800,000 young people work and go to school, why that program had to end. And the thing that really got me was that it was the Attorney General making the announcement when it was the President's decision. The President could have continued the DACA program and enabled these young people, who are aptly named dreamers, by the way, because they dream of a better life for themselves in this country, the only country that they know. It was up to the President. He could himself have saved this program, but no, he wouldn't do it. And yet, he couldn't face the American people to talk about why he thought this program needed to end. He made the Attorney General get up there and go on in a bloodless, heartless way, explain why this had to happen.
Actually, one follow-up question. Why did the President not come out and make this announcement himself today? Why did he leave it to his Attorney General? It's his decision.
The DACA decision dominated Tuesday's White House press briefing.
Because of what he's doing. Why not have him come out and make this
It's
call?
in large part a big part of the legal process. This was deemed illegal by, I think, just about every legal expert that you can find in the country, including many of Obama's own attorneys, said that this was not lawful program.
Right.
And therefore, it would be the Department of Justice to make a legal recommendation, and that's what they did.
Many Republicans who believe that getting something on the Republican side is not going to be easy, that the divisions that we see between the center and the right in the Republican Party will become only deeper. What gives you confidence that this
With
can
all
actually
due
happen?
respect, I don't think the American people elected Congress to do things that were easy. They elected them to make a government that works, to work properly, and to work for American people, and that's their job. And if they can't do it, then they need to get out of the way and let somebody else who can take on a heavy lift and get things accomplished.
You're talking about a comprehensive immigration fix from Congress in a span of 6 months, and much to the President's frustration, Congress hasn't been able to really do much at all this year. What gives him confidence that they're going to be able to act on immigration? Has he spoken to any congressional leaders since making this DACA decision?
He's spoken to a number of leaders, but hopefully, as you guys all know, they just came back from a 3-week vacation. I think that they should be rested and ready to take on some big challenges that America faces.
Why put the fate of the lives of 800,000
Because it's Congress's job to legislate. It's not the President's job to create law. It's not. It's Congress's job to create legislation. I think that's something we all learned in 8th grade civics. I know I certainly did, and I think that every member of Congress should know that that is their duty, and we're asking them to fulfill it. It's pretty simple. I think that the American people elected them to do it. And again, if they can't, then they should get out of the way and let somebody else take their job that can actually get something done.
Sounds like the President is saying, and you're saying, that if we're going to allow the Dreamers to stay in this country, we want a wall. Is that accurate?
I don't think that the President's been shy about the fact that he wants a wall, and certainly something that he feels is an important part of a responsible immigration reform package.
The President's voiced and you voiced some objections to the constitutionality of DACA. Where does the President stand on the program itself?
I think that in the answers that I've given is that the President has been, and I think part of the reason that this is complicated and one of the reasons he's wrestled with this back and forth in large part is because this is not an easy one. and certainly something where he wants to be able to make a decision with compassion, but at the same time, you can't allow emotion to govern. And this has to be something where the law is put in place, and it's something that he would support if Congress puts it before him.
He would support it if it came with. I'm just trying
Again,
to get the
responsible
specifics.
immigration reform. We can't just have one tweak to the immigration system. We need really big fixes and big reform in this process, and we've laid out the principles that we feel are important in that.
The president, as recently as February, had expressed sympathy for the DACA recipients. Today we heard in a statement from House Speaker Paul Ryan, who said that these so-called dreamers have done nothing wrong. Was this a difficult decision for the president to take this drastic action, given what he said as recently as February? And does he agree with House Speaker Paul Ryan that these individuals, 800,000 individuals, have done nothing wrong?
I think largely yes, and that's why I said it was one of the things that the president wrestled with this decision all throughout the weekend. So I kind of addressed that, so I think that's pretty clear.
It was just this weekend that he wrestled with it? It wasn't leading up to it?
Well, no, I mean, I think we've been clear throughout the process. There wasn't a final decision made until over the weekend because of the back and forth and the complexity of the issue and the ability to make the right decision and allow Congress to actually do their job and provide a fix instead of just stopping the program. And that was a big point for the president.
President Trump was also put on the spot about the decision during a meeting with Republican congressmen.
How should the DACA decision change your heart?
Well, I have a great heart for the folks we're talking about, a great love for them. And people think in terms of children, but they're really young adults. I have a love for these people, and hopefully now Congress will be able to help them and do it properly. And I can tell you, in speaking to members of Congress, they want to be able to do something and do it right. And really, we have no choice. We have to be able to do something. And I think it's going to work out very well. And long term, it's going to be the right solution.
What do you think? Thank you.
Now, the president's continuing attack on minorities and immigrants in this country, of which, by the way, I am a minority as well as an immigrant, is just unjustifiable. But he continues to do it. Why? Apparently and obviously, he continues to play to his white supremacist base. And that is so disappointing. I'm sorry to say that this president continues to divide this country. We expect the leader of the free world, the president, to actually bring people together, but instead he continues to divide us and dividing immigrant communities against each other. Now, this is not what our country should be standing for. So I was incensed, disappointed. I had a press conference in Hawaii to urge the president not to take this action. And sadly, I'm not surprised that he did so, because he continues to divide our country, continues to do those things that do not bring us together, continues to do those things that tears families apart. And now, these 800,000 young people who are part of the DACA program, where they came forward relying upon our country's assertions that we would not deport them, they are now living in fear. This includes some 600 or so DACA participants in Hawaii. Totally unjustified. These are not criminals. These are not people who are causing trouble. These are people who just want to follow their dream in the only country that they know, and that's our country. And I know what that's like because I am an immigrant. So I just want to call upon the rest of us, that would mean Congress at this point, because the president, rather than doing the right thing and continuing the program that he should have continued, he's now kicked the ball to Congress to do the right thing. And I hope that we will step up and save the DACA program, which, by the way, does have bipartisan support. I would like the entire country to rise up against this travesty and this injustice being visited upon 800,000 innocent young people who just want to follow their American dream.